Imagine being chained to a tree for losing a piece of paper. Imagine your mate beaten to death, and the court calls it unfortunate. At Eureka, the government pushed ordinary men too hard, and for once, ordinary men pushed back. The license inspectors, well, they were a special breed. Men who woke up every morning and chose violence, or at least petty inconvenience. Whenever I saw one ride in all swagger and moustache, I'd nudge the men and whisper, "Quick, hide your shovels, they'll start taxing tools next." One day an inspector galloped over, red-faced and puffing like a kettle. "License!" he barked at me. I smiled sweet as honey. "Oh, absolutely, sir. Which one today? My digging one? My breathing one? Or the one that lets me stand here without being accused of treason?" The men laughed. The inspector did not. But that was fine. He wasn't my audience. Humor was our armor. A joke can't stop injustice, but it can stop injustice from breaking your spirit. If you want to know what the goldfields were really like, picture this. A muddy swamp full of tents, chimneys that worked whenever they felt like it, and accents from every corner of the earth, all shouting at once because someone's billy had boiled over. Forget the history books. The diggings weren't British, they weren't Irish, they weren't Australian yet, they were a glorious mess. You had Irishmen arguing with Englishmen, Americans arguing with nobody in particular, Germans nodding politely, Italians trying to fix things, and Chinese miners quietly outworking all of us while pretending not to notice our chaos. The food was terrible, the weather was vindictive, the tents leaked so much you'd swear the rain had taken it personally. But somehow the worse things got, the kinder people became. We shared tools, shared tea, shared curses, and occasionally shared long, awkward moments when nobody understood anybody else's language. But the feeling got across anyway. Mud doesn't care what country you're from. Mud treats everyone equally, mostly by trying to swallow your boots, and pain, cold, and hunger have a funny way of reminding you that the bloke beside you, no matter his accent, is fighting the same fight. I saw it every day. An Irishman lifting a fallen tent pole for a Chinese family, a Prussian miner giving his only dry socks to a Scottish lad who hadn't smiled in a week, an African sailor turned digger, teaching a Cornishman how to tie a proper knot so his roof wouldn't fly off again. And when the storms came, and they always came, we'd all cram together under whatever canvas hadn't drowned, laughing like fools because misery shared is somehow misery halved. We didn't always understand each other, but by God, we looked out for each other. At least, until the license inspectors arrived. Nothing unites a multicultural crowd like a common enemy. One shout of "troopers," and suddenly every man on the field spoke the same language. Run. It was remarkable, really. Men who'd spent all morning arguing about politics, religion, or the correct way to make tea, would suddenly link arms like long-lost brothers and sprint for the nearest gully. Some of the Chinese miners moved so fast, I swear they touched the ground once every 3 meters. The Italians ran in dramatic zigzags, style matters apparently, and the Irish ran like they'd been training for this moment for 800 years. The troopers hated this, partly because they could never catch us, and partly because every time they came back empty-handed, the diggings would applaud like they'd won the Melbourne Cup. But here's the funny part. The harder the inspectors pushed, the more united we became. Every license hunt turned strangers into allies. Every arrest turned anger into purpose. Every humiliation became another thread stitching us together. We didn't start as a rebellion. We started as a bunch of wet, muddy humans, trying very hard to survive the weather.